जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुनतीरवनचारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुनतीरवनचारी। यशोदा जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे हरे जय मदन मोहन राधे। जय जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पतगामी भाव तुम्हें। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पतगामी भाव तुम्हें। Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango, Gaura Hari, Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango, Gaura Hari, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Gaura Hari. Patita Pavana, Patita Pavana, Patita Pavana, Gaura Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की जय, श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय, श्री गौर निताय भगवान की जय। ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार सादी गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गौ ब्राह्मणाहिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिम्यत्कृपः तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं श्रीपरमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् ओम पवित्रो पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यत्स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष सभ्याभ्यन्तरं शुचे श्रीविष्णु श्रीविष्णु श्रीविष्णु
Hare Krishna. So many of you know Lilananda Prabhu, but I will just say briefly few words about him. And Lilananda Prabhu was working in America, in Boston. He was introduced to Krishna consciousness there. Srinivasa Acharya Prabhu, and there is one Balagovind Prabhu who is living in Hyderabad, very senior devotee. So he was inspired by all these devotees, and after picking up Krishna consciousness and working for a few years at ISKCON Boston Gopi Vallabha temple, he returned to Hyderabad. He lives in Gachibowli. In the last more than a decade, he created a revolution in congregational preaching in Gachibowli. He actually started practically from the scratch and developed preaching to such a great extent now. There are more than 200 devotees there. Every Sunday evening 5 to 8 there is a program which goes on there. So he gives a course called Science of Self-Realization course, which is 12-session course. Each session, can you guess how many minutes it is? It is a 3 hours. So 12 sessions he gives, and that is the way he makes the new devotees, brings them into the fold of Krishna consciousness, and then they continue for the Sunday evening programs. And he is not just a preacher and a propagator of Krishna consciousness, he is also a kingmaker. He has made 15 leaders, 15 preachers who have started preaching in 15 different housing colonies. And in all those housing colonies, recently, in the last few years, Rath Yatras have been happening. How many Rath Yatras totally?
12 Rath Yatras.
12 Rath Yatras happened, and how many Janmashtamis?
12
Janmashtamis happened there. So, and each of it is attended by hundreds and thousands of people. And he is personally nourishing those leaders and training them, and personally going and supporting them. And he and his good wife Anuradha Priya Mataji, they are very hardworking people, along with the 2 sons. And although his father is bedridden, and despite that, he has been a very hardworking devotee. So he is setting a very beautiful example, role model example of congregation program. So much so that in Mayapur, ILS as we call it, ISKCON Leaders Sangha, he was invited to give a presentation of his preaching program here. And also every year they started distributing 50-60 Bhagavatam sets. Eventually he touched 108. Eventually they touched 300. Now recently in Yadadri, How many Bhagavatam sets were distributed?
432, Prabhuji.
432 sets of Bhagavatam were distributed. So he reaches out Bhagavatam sets to the pujaris of many Sri Vaishnava temples, so that those Brahman pujaris who are poor, but they can get Srimad Bhagavatam in their temple, and daily they are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam to have the right consciousness to approach the Lord and worship the deities. So such a beautiful service he is rendering. And this is the first Bhagavatam class he is going to give here at Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan. So I would like to welcome Lilananda Prabhu. Hare Va.
I'm deeply humbled, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavata Prabhu. I'd like to take the blessings of Anandmay Prabhu, Radhesham Prabhu, Vedanta Chaitanya Prabhu, and all senior Vaishnavas here. So I can speak something, I can repeat something properly. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 28, verse number 30. Tasyam sa janayam chakra Tasyam sa janayam chakra Atmajam ashitekshanam Atmajam ashitekshanam Yaviyasha saptasutan Yaviyasha saptasutan Sapta Dravida Bhubrata Sapta Dravida Bhubrata Tasyam Sajanayam Chakra Atmajam Ashitekshanam Yaviyasha Sapta Sutan Sapta Dravida Bhubrata. Prabhujis. Tasyam Sajanayam Chakra Atmajam Ashitekshanam Yaviyasha Sapta Sutan Sapta Dravida Bhubrataha Tasyam Sajanayam Chakra Atmajam Ashitekshanam Tasyam Sajanayam Chakra Atmajam Ashitekshanam Yaviyasha Sapta Sutan Sapta Dravida Bhubrataha. Matajis. Tasyam Sajanayam Chakra Atmajam Ashitekshanam Yavesha Sapta Sutan Sapta Dravida Bhubrataha. Okay. Tasyam, through her, the king, Janayam Chakre, begot, Atmajam, daughter, Asita, blue or black, Ikshanam, whose eyes, Yaviyasha, Yaviyasha, younger, very powerful, Sapta, 7, Sutan, sons, Sapta, 7, Dravida, province of Dravida or South India, Bhu, of the land, Bhrata, kings. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Please repeat after me. King Malyadwaja fathered one daughter who had very black eyes. He also had 7 sons who later became rulers of that tract of land known as Dravida. Thus, there were 7 kings in that land. Hare Krishna. Purport, I'll just read it. King Malyadwaja was a great devotee, and after he married the daughter of King Vidarbha, he gave श्री राधा मदन मोहन की, श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की, श्री गौर निताय की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Yeah, he gave her one nice daughter whose eyes were very black. Figuratively, this means that the daughter of King Malyadwaja was also bestowed with devotional service, for her eyes were always fixed on Krishna. A devotee has no vision in his life other than Krishna. The seven sons are the seven processes of devotional service: hearing, chanting, remembering, offering worship, offering prayers, rendering transcendental loving service, and serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Of the 9 types of devotional service, only 7 were immediately given. The balance, friendship, and surrendering everything were to be developed later. In other words, devotional service is divided into 2 categories, namely Vidhi Marga and Raga Marga. The process of becoming friends with the Lord and sacrificing everything for Him belongs to the category of Raga Marga, the stage of developed devotional service. For the neophyte, the important process are those of hearing and chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam, remembering Krishna, worshipping the deity in the temple, offering prayers, and always exchanging in the service of the Lord, and worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord. The word Yaviyasha indicates that these processes were very powerful. After a devotee engages in the process of Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, and is able to secure these processes, he can later become a devotee capable of rendering spontaneous devotional service, namely Sakyam and Atmanivedanam. Generally, the great acharyas who preach devotional service all over the world belong to the category of Sakyam Atmanivedanam. A neophyte devotee cannot actually become a preacher. A neophyte is advised to execute devotional service in 7 other fields, Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc. If one can successfully execute the preliminary 7 items, he can in the future be situated on the platform of Sakyam Atmanivedanam. The specific mention of Dravida Desha refers to the 5 Dravida Deshas in South India. All are very strong in rendering the preliminary devotional process, Shravanam Kirtanam. Some great acharyas like Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya also came from Dravida Desha and became great preachers. They were all situated on the platform of Sakyam Atmanivedanam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances, all the devotees here. So we are reading from 4th canto, 28th chapter, 30th verse. Chapter name, Puranjana becomes a woman in the next life. Hare Krishna. But she has also got a wonderful father in Dravida Desh. And she also got married to a very, very elevated devotee, pure devotee, Malyadwaja, King Malyadwaja. And she has a wonderful daughter. Her daughter's name is not mentioned here, but she has mentioned that her eyes are very black. Right? And Prabhupada immediately explains that black reminds Krishna. And actually, I was hearing, for preparing for this lecture, I was hearing some lectures. And I was hearing from Badrinarayan Swami Maharaj. And he was saying that actually the word Asita doesn't have to be directly translated as black and Krishna. It has different meanings in Sanskrit dictionary. But the beauty of Srila Prabhupada is he has to just find one word to connect all of us to Krishna. So he just sees this one word Asita, and then he says her eyes are black. And then the remaining purport goes on to the 7 process of devotional service and Atmanivedanam. And of course, the translation also talks about it. But the translation directly doesn't talk about it. But Prabhupada directly takes it all the way to devotional service. 7 process of devotional service, and the remaining 2 are the most elevated. I remember this little funny joke, if I may permit to say. In my school days, there is a dictation to the students. We all remember when we were in school, we have to learn some words, full meaning of that word, and next day morning teacher will ask that meaning. You have to tell. So what is a cow? If you say what is a cow, you have to say cow has 4 legs, cow gives milk, cow has a hump, and cow is the best friend of the man. Like that you have to say. And then if somebody says, what is aeroplane? Aeroplane has two wings, it has four wheels, it will fly, it will take people from one place to another place. Like that, we have dictation. So one boy, he is a little lazy boy. They give 10 words for dictation. He only learns one. He only learns about cow and he comes to the class. So then the teacher knows this fellow will not do the full homework. So this time she wants to catch him. So she asks, okay, you tell me, what is a cow? Immediately says, cow has four legs, cow has a hump, she gives milk and is the best friend of the Lord. Then the teacher says, Hare, isko pakadne bhai, you should catch him nicely. Then she asks, okay, tell me what is aeroplane? Fellow thinks, he says, aeroplane flies, there is a window. From the window, if you see, there is a cow. Cow has four legs. Cow has a hump. Cow gives milk. Hey, this fellow is getting aeroplane also like that. Then can you tell me what is education for? That's a very define education. Fellow is like totally confused. He says, education means teacher teaches. Teacher tells me to learn about cow. Cow has four legs. Cow gives milk. Similar way, I remember my first class, my Siksha Guru, he told me to give a class. That time I did not know much. I only attended Science of Self-Realization. One verse I learned with great difficulty. I learned one verse. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tata dehantras praptir dhiras satram yoti. That one verse only I knew. Remaining all half one line I knew. So he asked me to give a class, and just before the class he came and told, Prabhupada told that you should always quote verses. That makes the class more effective. So at least quote 4 or 5 verses in your class. I was like, I only know one verse. So then I told the class on that verse only. So that was over. So class is over, it's good. But after the class, problem is question answer start. So one devotee started asking, Prabhu, how to balance spiritual life and material life? I was wondering. And then, I also have to remember the instruction of my Siksha Guru that I have to quote some verse. So I told, spiritual life and material life both are part of life. But you should understand you're not the body. So you can keep quoting the same verse. ISKCON devotees are very, very talented to find one verse in every part of it. But anyway, we have taken that lineage from Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is Jagat Guru. He knows everything. He's Bhakti Vedanta Swami. He knows the conclusion of all Vedas also. And we are so fortunate that he has given the essence of Vedas to us. And in every chapter, every page of any book that Prabhupada has written, whether it's a small book or a big book, as Prabhupada says, even if one page from my book flies and it goes to some corner, it falls there, and if anybody picks it up, he'll become a Krishna devotee. Even if that page doesn't have anything to do with Krishna in the translation, in a way. But if you see the translation, King Malyadwaja fathered one daughter, one who had black eyes. He also had 7 sons, who later became the rulers of the tract of land known as Dravida. Thus they were the 7 kings in that land. I'm not judging any other acharya, they're glorious acharyas, but the specialty of Srila Prabhupada, he has to bring Krishna in every single line. Every place we can find Krishna, and in the purport it's all about Krishna. And the 9 process of devotional service explained by Prahlad Maharaj in 7th canto. 7 processes are, Prabhupada says the 7 sons represent the 7 processes, and the remaining 2 are elevated. They are the conclusion, or rather, the most advanced devotees can only practice Sakhyam and Atma Nivedanam. But that also doesn't mean that the 7 processes are not that important, right? Sometimes when we preach new people, when we bring new people to Krishna consciousness, because our philosophy is so straight, we tell it directly, and somebody reading this, without any proper guidance might just read and say, 7 processes. Oh, Atma Nivedanam is very high. So these are not that very important. No, it's never said like that. They're not that important. They're all needed for each sadhaka also. Like sometimes, when we preach in Krishna consciousness, we are so fortunate that we all are introduced to Goloka Vrindavan. How many outside know about Goloka Vrindavan? Not many people know. But in ISKCON, we directly take people to the Goloka Vrindavan. Say, Goloka Vrindavan, what is your goal of life? Goloka Vrindavan. Right? And then it also goes to a point where sometimes, new people without proper understanding, when they hear these classes, they all think that, oh, Vaikuntha I don't want, I want Goloka only. First you understand we are in material world. First you try to get out of this material world. Then you can think about Goloka, then you can even comment on Vaikuntha, whatever. But sometimes when we are given a diamond, Prabhupada has given this diamond to us. And in the little time that Prabhupada stayed on this planet, he gave everything directly. And it's so precious and so beautifully explained and given that even a simple person can understand the goal of life. ISKCON devotee, any ISKCON devotee around the world, you stop him on the road and ask, what is the goal of life? Answer will be single, Krishna Prema. There will not be any other answer. Whereas you go and ask other people outside, different paths that they are practicing, the answer can change. Because Prabhupada made it very sure, very, very clear that our goal of life is Krishna Prema. And Prabhupada also made it clear that we can achieve that by serving Guru, serving Vaishnavas, serving the Dham, the whole process of devotional service through Upadeshamrita also Prabhupada explained. So, we should understand that, this particular Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam is a very, very high, subject and relationship. Hare Krishna. Yeah, it's a very high process and high relationship one should have with Krishna. Recently, I was hearing one story in, small, very simple story from, about Lord Krishna. Should I tell that? Very small story. So it seems one gopi came to Mother Yashoda's house and she said, I want some cow dung. And Mother Yashoda was like, okay, you can take some cow dung. Aapko gobar chahiye, thoda leke jao. Immediately, 4-year-old Krishna, or small Krishna, he comes to his Maya and says, Maya, you can't give cow dung like that. Who is you to come and take cow dung from our house? And the gopi is like, Hare Kana, you are coming and taking butter from my house. You can't give little cow dung? Immediately Krishna is like, no, cow dung. How can you say that you can take cow dung? Mother, Ma Yashoda, don't you know? Cow dung means Lakshmi Devi. All the devatas got space in a cow, but Lakshmi Devi did not get space and she resides in the cow dung. If this gopi takes cow dung means our Lakshmi Devi will go from the house. And Mother Yashoda looks at the gopi and she looks at him. You both settle it, whatever you decide. And then the gopi says, Kana, there are so many cows in your house. Nanda Maharaj has 900,000 cows. I'm asking for little cow dung. And that too, I'm going to use it for puja. I'm going to do some puja in the house and eat some cow dung. What will you go, if you give me a little cow dung? Krishna is like, no. I'm not going to give cow dung. This is my property in our house and it's very, very important. Just imagine a 4-year-old boy saying that, so simple. And the gopi is like, this is too much. We are making so many things in the house. You come and steal them. We complain, but we have so much love for you. Little cow dung, I'm asking what kind of reciprocation is this? Kana, you should understand. Then Krishna says, okay, we'll come into agreement. What is the agreement? Then Krishna says, okay, every time you pick up cow dung, you have to give that much amount of butter to me. Say, this is too much. You know how difficult it is to make butter? So much milk, little butter it comes, and you're saying, if you take this much cow dung, that much butter I have to give you. So this is like beautiful, funny exchange also, though it sounds a little serious. Then the gopi says, okay, I will give you butter. Then Krishna says, wait, how can I know you will give equal amount of butter or no? No, he is a 4-year-old boy. He did not learn mathematics. Of course, Krishna knows all the maths. But the gopi says, how will you know? Then Krishna says, wait, I will know, do a thing. Every time, I don't know how to count. He says, I don't know how to count. So every time you lift little cow dung, put a little tilak to me. Right? So you lift this much cow dung, put one tilak. Then this much cow dung, one more tilak. After you have taken all the cow dung you need, then I'll go to Mother Yashoda, I'll ask how many are there. So then you have to give that much butter to me. So I have my calculation here. So Gopi feels this fellow is, he is very, very intelligent. He is not going to spare me. So the Gopi comes, she picks up the cow dung. Immediately the Krishna says, put one tilak. I said, see, I'll put you. I'm not telling I'll not put. I'm picking up the cow dung. Okay, she puts one tilak. Another little cow. Put one tilak, put one. I'll put now. I'm telling you I'll put it. Why are you so desperately asking me to put tilak? No, you have to put tilak. You'll forget. Then she becomes very angry. 3 times, 4 times, 5th time she'll take, she'll take this cow dung and puts it on Krishna. And Krishna has all the cow dung on his face, right? Then like that he goes in front of Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda, hey Kana, what happened to you? Your face I can't see. Full with cow dung. So she removes cow dung like this. And she says, Mother, remove it slowly. You will rub the tilaks. Because you need to calculate now, how much butter I need to get. So such are the pastimes of Lord Krishna. They're so simple. So, we feel that we are so approachable. We feel that so sweet they are. Yet at the same time, by hearing these pastimes, we cannot conclude that, oh, I am so close to Krishna, I think I can treat him like a friend. See, that's the most important thing we should remember. When we go to Vraj, we hear this kind of stories. This kind of stories should encourage us to do more Shravanam and Kirtanam. Not sit there and say that, okay, Krishna is my friend now. A lot of times, the whole Sahajiism comes into these two devotional processes. Remaining all devotional process, even if you want to be a Sahajiya, you cannot. I mean, it's not that easy to be a Sahajiya. But when you say, I'm a friend of Krishna, or when you say I've completely given everything to Krishna, right? So the whole Sahajiism starts coming up, where you say that, oh, I'm totally connected to Krishna, I can give anything to Krishna. I'm totally surrendered to Krishna. Like that people speak and behave. But we are so fortunate that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj, from the time he started, he made sure that Raga Bhakti has taken the precedent over, Vaidhi Bhakti has taken the more precedent over Raga Bhakti for the devotees. It's not like Raga Bhakti is lesser. Raga Bhakti is ultimate, very, very high, personal direct connection with Krishna. But all of us in ISKCON and, Gaudiya institutions practice Vaidhi Bhakti. We have to make sure that we are following the Vaidhi Bhakti properly. Okay. So somebody, asks, why is material world created for? Right. There are many answers that can be given. Material world is created for us to, become prepared to go back to Krishna. In another way, we can also say material world is created to humble us. Just to humble us. Everybody has to ultimately become humble in material world. Whether you're a materialistic person or a spiritual person. Ultimately, Mother Durga in the form of Prakriti will humble us. For a materialistic person who thinks he can find happiness here and earn a lot of wealth through his education and reputation, even he is humbled by the three Trishuls, right? Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika. These three things will humble him, no doubt about it. Even, the greatest of the industrialists who work outside, biggest of builders, real estate, emperor owners, in their house you go, there will be some fight going on. And he has to humble there and say, just leave the matter now. He has to tell that thing. He can't say that I am the king of the world and, I'll be happy forever. It doesn't work like that. Even when you have the most of the wealth, you may or may not believe in God, but you will be humbled by, some disease that you will get. So one diagnostic center report will come, it will come outside. If 2 to 5 is the actual range, your range is 12. Khatam, you'll become humble. So Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika will humble you. So there is no question about it. But when you become a devotee, still in devotees also, we will become humble. Provided we do our proper sadhana, proper sadachar and proper seva. There Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika and Adhyatmika will humble us. Here for devotees, these three things will humble. When we do proper sadhana, get up early in the morning, follow the instructions of spiritual master, do chanting properly, we automatically will become humble. And proper sadachar, following the etiquettes, following the process, we will become humble. Just practice it for a certain period of time. And seva, working along with devotees. Sometimes it's not that easy to work with devotees, and that will also humble us, right? So, whether it is a spiritual person or a material person, staying in the material world, becoming humble is for sure. But we are fortunate that after becoming humble, we are going back to Krishna, coming into the spiritual path. And this 9 process of devotional service can be practiced only when we are humble. And they actually lead us to humility. Right? Whether it is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Dasyam, Vandanam. And Sakhyam and Atmanivedanam also can only be practiced by the person who is humble. How can you say, that I am a friend of Krishna and I am not humble? It cannot be possible. Even Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, In midst of the Bhagavad Gita, after seeing the avatar of Krishna, I mean the Vishwarup, immediately it becomes humble. Arey, what is this? I've been treating you like a friend. I was sleeping beside you on the same bed. I was walking along with you, standing with you together. Oh Krishna, who are you? And what is your purpose? You have come here, this great personality that you are. I'm totally humbled, right? So, the 9 process of devotional service, our goal should be to practice them, but to follow the first 2 processes very, very properly is the most important. Shravanam Kirtan. All our acharyas have explained the importance of Shravanam and Kirtanam. Just give your ear properly, take proper association from devotees. When we say association from devotees, association that encourages us to serve more, encourages us to go closer to Krishna. That is the association. Just standing nearby devotees, just standing going around devotees is not really. When we say Sakyam Atmanivedanam, I'm very close to Krishna, right? Who doesn't want to be close to Krishna? But being close to Krishna means we have to be more, in service. Not just that we are closer to Krishna. Just like being close to Guru means actually serving Guru to his desire, serving Guru to his plan. Once His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj told that, I heard this from a senior devotee, that, there are so many devotees around me. Like many people, many devotees feel that, I should also be close to Maharaj, I should be near to him, talk to him, or receive instructions from him. Every devotee has that desire with his respective guru. But Maharaj told, some of these people who are around me all the time don't think that they are the only ones who I really relate to or I am really caring about. Sometimes when there is a sweet, lot of bees also are around all the time. They need a lot of maintenance. So sometimes some devotees want that extra time, so they just want to take my time, but don't think that those are the devotees who are close to me, right? The devotees who are actually going out and doing and following the instructions of Prabhupada are the devotees who dwell in the Guru's heart. So is the case with all the Maharajas, in ISKCON. They always say, go out and do your part, right? Go out and preach the message of Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, and follow the instructions given by Srila Prabhupada. That is the whole goal, and that is the purpose of the 9 process of bhakti also. Ultimately, we should go and do that service. So, apart from today's purport, I was asked to speak something about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. And Tarun Mohan Prabhu told that. I was like, what can I speak about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj? Yesterday I was hearing Prabhuji's lecture also, the purpose of a temple. Prabhuji specifically told an acharya can recognize an acharya. Is that what you told Prabhuji? An acharya can recognize the acharya. Of course, acharya can recognize the acharya. And of course, we cannot sit here and judge, can a acharya recognize the acharya? Acharya will recognize the acharya. We are just trying to understand what are the things that acharya sees to recognize another acharya. I was thinking, what are the things? If we go back in our lineage, even, any of the great acharyas, like Madhavendra Puri recognized Ishwara Puri, right? He saw that seva in him and he saw how dedicated he is. He could immediately say that he is my succession. Yamunacharya recognized Ramanujacharya, right? Even without even talking to Ramanujacharya, just looking at Ramanujacharya far away. That time he was serving Mayavadi sannyasi, but he could immediately recognize that he is going to be the next who is going to take this forward. And you all know the great pastime of how Yamunacharya left his body and Ramanujacharya could exactly tell what is in his heart, even without meeting his guru, right? The 3 fingers. And Lord Chaitanya recognized the 6 Goswamis. As soon as the 6 Goswamis came in front of him, Rupa, Sanatan, everybody, all of them, he recognized them personally, right? And who can forget the glorious recognition of Narottam Das Thakur by Lokanath Swami Maharaj, right? When the amount of service he did and how he was immediately recognized. And how can we forget Gaur Kishore Das Babaji recognizing Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati when he came for initiation. Of course, he tested him only to glorify him, that being Surya Siddhanta, even such a big acharya, he was looking for Krishna Prema, and he was ready to even give his life in Yamuna if he was not given, in Ganga, if he was not given initiation. And how can we forget how Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj recognized his divine grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Right? It's such a such an incident that any number of times we hear, it only increases our faith more and more that an acharya can recognize an acharya. How else, of course, you all know the whatever the conversations that happened between Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and Thakur Goswami Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. So I'll not repeat those, but I was trying to focus a little more on what did he see in the other person which made him declare that he is the next Acharya. That is more important for us as Vaidhi Bhaktas, that we should remember. And how, if we continue the same lineage, how Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada recognized many, many great Acharyas in his own next, in the next stage. Like I heard about Gaur Govind Maharaj, that Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada just saw Gaur Govind Maharaj and immediately understood he is a pure devotee. And he talked about sannyas diksha, right? Not just the first level diksha, not a brahmana diksha. When are you taking sannyas? Right? And he came for sannyas and he got sannyas immediately. And all of them were amazed. I was told that many other disciples went and asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, he just came, and Prabhupada told that I made you devotees, but he is already a pure devotee. So he's just come here to continue his journey. Right? And so did Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada recognize many other great Vaishnavas like Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. When Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj met him in Kumbh Mela, and he just said, I want to join your Krishna consciousness movement. Within few days, he told, you start translating in Bengali all my books. And Bhakti Charu Maharaj says in the Memories of Srila Prabhupada that I was amazed. How can a great Acharya directly give me translation of his books when I have not even, in a way, he's not even taken Diksha at that time. He told, instruction directly came. And with that came the empowerment, and all the books were also translated. And so is the case with even Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. When Srila Prabhupada told he is Nityananda's assistant, in the Kirtan party, when the discussion came about getting his Indian citizenship, and he was speaking to Srinathji Prabhu, he told, you have to get citizenship from me, you to help me, because he's the associate of, one of the associates in Nityananda's army. So how can he recognize? And you can see very well how Jayapataka Swami Maharaj is spreading the glories of Srila Prabhupada everywhere. He's establishing temples nobody else can do. How many here have actually opened a temple? Just think about it. And Maharaj is opening temples like, just one other place in different tracts of land in Mayapur and Bangladesh. And he himself speaks Bengali. He's writing Kirtans in Bengali. Only Srila Prabhupada could recognize such. And even His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, among so many thousands of people sitting in the pandal in Bombay, an Acharya just recognizes that he is the soul who is surrendered to take this movement forward. So is the case with so many other disciples. An Acharya can recognize, right? And Acharya also says, Srila Prabhupada also told one instruction to all of us, which he might have seen in all of us also. I'm not saying we are acharyas here or everybody is an acharya. That's not the point. But what an acharya sees in everybody else is he quoted this shloka, very famous shloka, we all know it. Bharata bhumite haile manushya janma yara. Janma sarthaka kari kara paropakara. And Srila Prabhupada's instruction to all his next generations, next disciplinic succession is, you are fortunate to have taken birth in the land of India. Now you take this message forward. So Acharya is recognizing the potential in all of us. So, we have to think like our Guru. We have to, if not think like him, at least follow his thinking. At least follow what Srila Prabhupada is trying to tell. If the congregation of this temple, I'm also part of this temple. So how big is the congregation, Prabhu? Like 2,000 devotees? Full time? I mean, coming seriously and chanting around 2,000 devotees. So if somebody asks how many temples of ISKCON are there in Hyderabad, our answer should not be 4 or 5. It should be 2,000 temples are there in Hyderabad. Every house is a temple. It is just a question of a satsang happening in that house. Why not? Every devotee is trained here to go and represent Srila Prabhupada and pass on this message to the people around. Just imagine if 2,000 devotees are opening satsangs in those 2,000 houses and calling at least 30-40 people from around in their own locality. What would the city be? And what do you speak of 2,000 houses conducting 2,000 Rath Yatras? My God, it will be a national holiday. Then declare, police will tell what is going on. Stop what you are doing in this temple. Hare Krishna. So Acharya can recognize an Acharya. and Acharya has recognized all of us. All of us should be humble enough to understand that we have been given a great opportunity. And this opportunity we have been given in this life, even though we are qualified or not, we have to do our little part. We have to do our little part. And by the great inspiration of my Siksha Gurus and Prabhuji here, Radhesham Prabhu, we are trying to follow, the instructions, trying to follow, and we are able to see results. We're able to see results. And when you see results, you become very more happy, isn't it? I'll tell you one incident in 2 minutes. Just in 2 minutes, I'll tell one incident. One personality came to my office. I was wearing tilak. I'll tell it very quickly. I was wearing tilak. I had HR in my company. So whenever any customer comes, my boss, who is the CEO, calls me just to introduce. He's the HR head, like that. I say, okay, Haribol. And I'm asked to immediately leave because they have to present all technical presentation. So one personality came who is the head of entire dairy of India. Entire dairy. All the dairies, he's the head of technology. When he comes in Hyderabad, big IT company owners, they take some time from him to present their case, because if he signs, it will be crores of contract of implementing some softwares. He came and saw my tilak while I was saying welcome, and then just by seeing tilak, he told his remaining team, "You attend the presentation. I have to talk something." He came to my cabin. My boss was like worried. I brought him here to spend time with him. This fellow is going with HR head of the company. He came to my room and he asked me, "What is this tilak? What are you doing?" He said. I told him, "This is my tilak. I practice spiritual life." He told, "I also practice spiritual life." I said, "Very good." So he told, "I do Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. I do meditation. What do you do?" My chanting boy was on my table. If you look at my cabin, there is a Radha Madan Mohan picture, there is cows, calf, there is Bhagavad Gita, little setup, and the small mantra is going Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I keep that in the cabin also. So if anybody comes to shout at me, he becomes humble. So he came, he looked at all that and he asked, "What do you practice?" I said, "Hare Krishna mantra." Then lunchtime came, they ordered lunch for him, and I got my own lunch. My wife packs me prashadam, so I did not have that. And then finally, he said, "Okay, can you come for lunch also with me?" I went there. In the evening, they booked some party for customer in some big discotheque or something. I don't go there. My boss forced me. I said, "Only for 1 minute I'll come." I came there. He looked at me and told, "Why are you coming here? You should not be coming here." I said, "Very nice." Then I left. Next day, he met me and he told, "My son works in Bangalore. I want him to practice spiritual life. I also want to do something. Can you share me something?" I shared Science of Self-Realization lectures, something that I had recorded for my own. I shared it. I said, "You can listen it." In the plane, while going back, he heard one full session. After he landed, he messaged me that I liked it. 3-hour session he heard. He said, "I liked it." Then after that, another session. 12 sessions he finished in 1 week. Now he's chanting 16 rounds. And he is in Delhi. He attended the Yatra of Gopal Krishna Swami Maharaj. What I'm trying to tell here is, yes, I'm done. Yes, I'll take some questions. Yes. Yes, thank you for your download. So you can just see that, a little introduction of what we are doing, just by wearing tilak in your office, just by putting your chanting bag on the table, just by keeping a Bhagavad Gita on your table, anybody can get attracted. And you never know who is readily waiting for it. And Srila Prabhupada has empowered us and is clearly saying, "Bharata Bhumida Haila Manushya Janmayara." You're a human being. If you're a human being, give this philosophy to others. Spread this thing to others, right? So next time when he came to Hyderabad, my boss told him, "You go and pick him up from the airport." Now the contract will be easily signed. I'm just kidding. But I went to the airport, and when I was in the airport, last time I met him, I'm not telling his name because it's not right. But from far away, the arrival place, you can't stay for too long. You have to just take the person and go. Otherwise, you have to pay a big bill. So I stopped my car there, and far away, "Haribol!" One person told, "Who is that person?" And that is the customer. "Haribol!" And then he comes to me and says, "Dandavat Pranam Prabhu." 6 months, the person is a devotee, right? So, these kind of instances, when you see Prabhu, you tell me, will you stop preaching? Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj says that any person who has compassion cannot stop preaching. He cannot. It is impossible for a devotee to stop preaching if he has even 1% compassion of what Srila Prabhupada had. And Srila Prabhupada is telling all of us that so many acharyas have seen the next acharya. And what they have seen in them is a potency to come forward and preach, right? And every house is a temple that we have. Every house is a temple. And so many devotees are conducting Mangal Aarti in their houses. I heard that His Grace, even Vedant Chaitanya Prabhu, in his house conducts Mangal Aarti every morning. And my mother's dear classmate friend comes to your house, Prabhuji. She comes and attends. So she tells my mother. And it's so amazing that even in a colony, one temple, even if it is a house, it's equal to a temple when you do a Mangalarti and do a Bhagavatam class and spread the glories of Krishna. Right? So an acharya sees an acharya, and an acharya has already seen all of us. So, not sure, how many are acharyas that he has seen, but at least we can become a das of that acharya and continue what he has given. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any questions? Harish? Oh, there is some gold, I don't know, bracelet. I was amazed for this class. I'm getting this. And just kidding. But yeah, ఎవరో పడేసుకున్నారు ఇక్కడ బంగారపు please take it. I don't know. You can keep it at a lost and found place. Hare Krishna. Gold being kept in lost and place. Yeah, Hare Krishna. So any questions, comments, or reflections, or we can end it here. Yes, bro.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, I wanted to, can you elaborate on the Dravida Desha and the seven, especially the Dravida Desha, you said that,
Yeah.
and one who cannot become, what platform is required to be a preacher? Can you elaborate on these two aspects?
Elaborate on Dravida Desha and
who can become a preacher?
Who can become a preacher?
Yeah.
Who can become a preacher? So Dravida Desha is generally the South Indian tract of land. We are also part of Dravida Desha, or a border of Dravida Desha, you can say. Madrasa is the whole area. So the South Indian tract of land, and here it's being mentioned that the 7 kings ruled that tract of land. And the following verses also say that the 7 kings had thousands of sons, and they actually ruled the entire planet. So the prominence of Dravida Desha, I personally don't know much to speak, Prabhuji. Of course, we know that it is one of the most holiest places in entire world, where there are so many, Divya Deshams recognized by the great acharyas, alvars, right? And I'd say the highest philosophy is preached in this part. And the acharyas of all the 4 sampradayas also hail from the south, so they have taken this forward. So that's how much I can tell about Dravida Desha. And qualifications to be a preacher, again, I'm humble to answer this. I don't think I'm qualified to say that somebody is a preacher or somebody is not. But I would say something that His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj once said, that he talked about another preacher. He said that preacher preaches a lot and sometimes he speaks. Right? So I think who can be a preacher? Everybody has to be a preacher with his own behavior. Right? And sometimes we should speak. Speaking is very easy. Sitting here, I can, anybody can give class. Yeah. But then following it and living it and inspiring it with his example is amazing. Can I tell one example on devotee? It's very inspired me. Quickly, I'll tell very fast. So is that me and my father, we went to Saidabad, Saidabad area here. We had to pick up somebody there. So we told we'll stay behind this old Saidabad police station. There is a slum area behind. So we said we'll stay there and we'll wait for that person to come. That was the location given. So me and my father were sitting. It was a slum road, small road, and there was one house, many houses, one door. Beside that door, there was a tulsi plant. So we both were chanting in that car, anyway, why to waste time? We were chanting, me and my father. And suddenly we saw a tulsi plant. And then suddenly one devotee came outside with holding a japamala, from that house. And like, this is a devotee's house, the tulsi plant is there. And the devotee looked at both of us. Prabhu, please come inside, please come. You have come to our house. And we didn't come to your house. We are sitting outside. But then looking at the devotee's disposition, he is so eager to bring other devotees. I was so amazed, and then... he said, please come to my house. And practically, Prabhu, his entire house might be Prabhupada's Vyasasana area. That's all is his house. In that house, there is one room and one kitchen. I don't know where is the bathroom also. Just literally small house, small. In the hall, only one bed, one single cot bed will come and another single cot bed space is available. And that is the place, there is one chair. On that chair is Guru's picture is there. He's a proper Gaudiya Vaishnava devotee. When Guru's picture is there, on top there is a sticker, of the parampara. And, his Guru's chappal are kept on the chair also. That's his altar. And I was amazed. And immediately he's telling his wife, Prabhu, what are you doing? Devotees have come to our house. Go make some prasadam. I was like, no, we don't have time. We have to go. No, devotees have come. Oh, I'm so fortunate. Devotees have come to my house. Me and my father were totally humbled. What is going on here? He brought us into his house and and Mataji immediately cooked prasadam. She made some upma. Upma can be made in seconds. So she made that upma. It was offered right there in front of us. And then we both were given the 2 thrones of upma. And I asked Prabhu, so what do you do? What do you do? So he showed, Prabhu, that is my auto. I drive that auto. He showed his auto outside. And in that auto, I went and saw what is there inside the auto. The entire auto is filled with pictures of our acharyas, everywhere inside. And even in the front side, right? And there is a small tape recorder, and he plays that when the auto runs. As soon as the auto starts, as people put meter, he starts his mantra. So Hare Krishna, the entire auto is like, say, I do Kirtan throughout the day. So throughout the day you Kirtan. Then he told, can you stay for some more time? We will start our class. We went at 7:30 in the morning. Every morning at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, there is a Bhagavad Gita class in his house, where 5-6 people from that locality slum, they come and sit there. And he told every morning 6:30, one cow comes to his house. It enters his house, takes a turn, and then goes out. Every morning at 6:30. And then every evening, he said, every evening at 5:30, I come home. My wife makes some prasad for everyone, and we have Bhagavatam class in the evening. And that small house. And he said, I only work 6 days in a week. 7th day is for my Guru. I go and serve him. And this is my life. I understood what is Krishna consciousness that day. He is a preacher. He is a preacher. With his behavior, with his disposition, sometimes he speaks. Hare Krishna. I don't know if I answered your question. Thank you. Any other questions? Anand Prabhu, do you want to add anything, say anything? Can you pass them?
Dravida Desh. So generally we hear Pancha Dravida. Pancha Dravida.
Pancha Dravida.
5. Because one sannyasi, his name Pancha Dravida Swami, from Argentina. He was the first one to preach in Vijayawada in 1971. Pancha Dravida Swami.
Pancha Dravida Swami.
So here we are Sapta Dravida. So that I had a doubt about this.
Okay, here it is mentioned Sapta Dravida. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. Down, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we want to thank His Grace Lilananda Prabhu and his team for distributing more than 500 Bhagavatam sets and hundreds of Bhagavad Gita. So from the hands of His Grace Anandmay Prabhu, we wanted to give some gifts to him and his team. So please. So we'll thank their team by once loudly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram.